This is Rock Leach with Social Fire, and in this video, we're going to discuss how Pastor Rod Parsley is a culture vulture. You don't want to miss this video.
Now click that like button and that bell notification so you'll be notified every time we put out a new video while you prepare yourself for this video clip. And I'll come back with some commentary. Let's go.
Yes, I said exactly what I said, and I'm going to go ahead and explain it in this video. You don't want to miss it because I'm going to go ahead and talk about Pastor Rod Parsley, but we're not going to stop there. There are several other pastors, white pastors, who are doing the exact same thing, and black folk falling for it every time. We need to go ahead and call it out, call it what it is, expose it, and let people know what's going on. Because what's happening here is very common and it needs to be exposed. When it comes to Pastor Rod Parsley, I remember him on TBN and my mother back in the years as I was a child coming up and really enjoying Rod Parsley. But I remember one thing that was quite evident is that Rod Parsley sounded black. He sounded black, and I as a young man, was just, kid, just amazed because he sounded black. He had a Hammond organ backing him up when he preached, and I was like, this wasn't no different than the all black church that I go to. And so we look at this and we look at culture vulture. I want to go ahead and explain to you what a culture vulture is, and I'm going to explain it to you through definition. The term culture vulture usually refers to a person who adopts or exploits elements of a culture, now especially when it comes to a minority or marginalized groups. They exploit these things and they don't really understand or even respect the significance. This is why I have a problem with Pastor Rod Parsley, because he's a culture vulture. He's taken the hooping style of preaching. He's taken, and I know y'all gonna say, well, he don't hoop all the time. He's taken it and he's done it. You look at some of the old videos, different things like that. He's just built such a following now that the thing that he exploited to get to where he is, he don't have to really use it anymore. Folk are just brainwashed going with this blind loyalty with Rod Parsley. And so he's using the Hammond organ to back him up, praise and worship team singing like black folk do. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about Pastor Rod Parsley, because what's happened is that he sounds black, looks black, have taken on the dancing and the shouting, got the organ and everything, praise and worship sounding black, all of these different kind of things. And I'm gonna be real, y'all know several other pastors, and I got more videos cooking on this same subject, who are doing this. Now, the reason that I have a problem with this, and I'm calling him a culture vulture, because these are people, white people, or any culture that will take something from another culture just to get a draw. Now, I do want to say this. Some white pastors that you see will be grown up or have been raised around this level of what they are giving out, meaning it's been put in them early. And you'll have some white pastors that grew up in black Pentecostalism or something to that nature. But then you have some that just go and put it on. They go and just learn how to do it so they can use this as a level of draw to get black folk to be a part of what they're doing so they can have a multicultural, if you would, church. Now, my problem with this is that it's quite evident with Pastor Rod Parsley, because he gets a lot of the larger black pastors. Listen, if it's any kind of black prophet, black evangelist, black pastor who is popular, Rod finna get you at his church. You're gonna be at Pastor Rod Parsley Church. I'm gonna be real. Go back through the YouTube videos. You can see most of them who are popular will go through Pastor Rod Parsley's church. Why? Why is that so significant? Because he's trying to keep a level of that blackness there, even though he's not respecting or even understands the significance of black folk. I'm going to go even further. Stay with me because we're getting it out today. If you go back to when George Floyd, the whole George Floyd thing happened, and he spoke out, y'all, his true thoughts, his true whiteness showed in this moment. Now, I'm going to go ahead and call it out because it is what it is. I know he has since retract what he said, but you said what you said, and your whiteness stepped out. This is why I have a problem, because you have this level of, you look black, but you're not really black. You're talking black, but you're not really black. You got the organ backing you up. And the difference between a black Pentecostal or a Baptist preacher who's actually hooping, because our culture normally does that, even though I'm not even going to go even further into that to talk about sometime in this generation we got more hooping than we have word. Now that's another video for another time. But I will tell you that that's something that originated in the black church. So he came out and said that, we should get rid of the bitterness and the hate. The part of that I really despise, I'm going to share with you the part that really set me on fire. He said, hear the heart of God. He was literally saying that God was telling us to get rid of the bitterness and the hate. You mean to tell me that Pastor Rod Parsley, just because you got black folk, you now believe that you can speak for black people and speak to black people about black issues? You actually believe, y'all, this is what bothers me, because I understand you're doing it in your church and you think that you have a place, but what's really inside of you was really exposed to us. I still want Rod Parsley boycotted. I want him boycotted. I want everything that he's doing to be boycotted. Why? Because he's a culture vulture. He doesn't believe nor respect anything for black people. I'm going to go even further. He is narcissist. He believes that only he is right. I've also heard him misconstrue or even in outright blatant disregard of proper theological articulation of the word of God. He does it his way because he, ladies and gentlemen, is full of himself. I just already did the videos and exposed the video of the leaked audio and exposed the video of the leaked video footage of him. Y'all, he talks to his people terrible. This is what's going on, and I believe that we need to make it a point. Y'all, and then that's something else. He has a large percentage at his church of black people. Why are we with this blind loyalty? Y'all, when he said that, I don't know why, because even in his statement, he even went to even try to justify slavery. He tries to justify slavery. Why are there any black people still at his church? He has a slaver's mentality. And so this is the thing that I think is really terrible, because we are allowing this kind of thing to go on. And it's not just in hip hop. Hip hop culture will definitely call out culture vultures, people who were not raised that way, who are just going and exploiting or adapting without truly understanding the significance, or understanding the significance, or why that is what it is, when you're not even respecting it or even have understand the significance of why that is. That is Pastor Rod Parsley. And there are other pastors, male and female, who adapt a way of preaching and hooping in a way, prophesying in a way, speaking to God's people in a black way, so they can get the culture of black people to embrace them. Y'all, and why? That's the next question. Why do they want black people to embrace them so much? Y'all, it's because we'll go almost with anything. That is the problem. We will go with those things, and it bothers me. We'll get into that blind loyalty. It bothers me, because white folk many times will question things before black folk will, and then we'll go with this, and y'all miss me with this whole thing where we will say, we shouldn't judge, or we shouldn't. It's not judging to look at an apple tree and see apples on the tree and say that is an apple tree. It's not judging to see oranges being produced as fruit and saying that's an orange tree. You all, we got a problem with that, trying to, touch not mine anointed, do my prophet no harm. Black folk will say that, and we will do that same thing with we have a problem with that, but that's the same thing as that immunity that police can hide behind when they kill black folk. We need to get up off of that. Wrong is wrong. If it's biblically not right, you have a right to call it out. And on this channel, we gonna call it out. I'm not going with anything just because you give me that old mister, so you judging, you're gossiping. There's a difference between speculation and gossip. Now, it's the intent. With this right here, with Rod Parsley, I'm going off of the words that he has. I'm going off of his presentation that he has given. This is who he is. The leaked audio, the video footage. Rod Parsley loves to embrace black folk, make like he's for black people, and he is as white as lily white. He is what he is on a racist level, and this is just my articulation of it. This is what it is. The backlash is still there. Go and read it. It's still evident online. Go listen to what he put out there, because it is what it is. And we need to pay real close attention to people who sound black, who talk black, who move like black folk do in the church, who preach black, who are adamant about having a organist behind them with these kind of things so they can hoop. And they are taking this black culture and they're using it. But on the inside, they as white as the Republic, as the Confederate Army. They're as white as the Confederate Army. Y'all gonna have to get me off of this because I believe what I believe. Now, I want you to jump in the comments and let me know what you think about this, because this is something we got to talk about. He's not the only culture vulture, but he's the one I'm talking about today. I want you to get in the comments and let me know what you think about what I've said about Rod Parsley being a culture vulture. Jump in the comments. Let's talk about this. Oh, we got to talk about it. Let's go.